The Scottish Orkney Islands are seeking to break away from the United Kingdom and look to a possible Scandinavian future. The Isles, which have a storied Viking history intertwined with the Nordic realms of Norway and Denmark, are looking at alternative forms of government. Ironically, as Scotland's Scottish National Party government seeks to leave the UK, one of its northern territories is potentially seeking independence also, but would also be seceding from Scotland too. In the 2014 referendum on Scottish independence, 67.2% of voters in Orkney voted no to the question, should Scotland be an independent country? This was the highest no vote by percentage in any council area in Scotland. Now the islands, known as Orkneyjar in Old Norse, are set to consider exploring its historic Nordic connections. The leader of the Orkney Islands Council, IOC, James Stocken, has put forward a motion that says it's time for Orkney to discuss alternative forms of governance, which it says could provide more economic opportunity. It suggests this could include looking at how existing Crown dependencies such as Guernsey, Jersey and the Isle of Man are governed as being politically apart from the UK. But as well as those options, those Nordic connections are also put forward, with a report going before a council meeting mentioning the Faroe Islands, a self-governing territory of Denmark in the North Sea. Orkney was under Norwegian and Danish control until 1472, when the islands were given to Scotland as part of the wedding dowry of Margaret of Denmark on her wedding to King James III of Scotland. Prior to that, Orkney was colonised and later annexed by Norway in 875 and settled by the Norse. According to the Orkney Inga saga, Norwegian King Harald Fairhair inherited the islands from his father, Halfdan the Black. To this day, genetic studies show that a quarter of the gene pool of Orkney derives from Norwegian ancestors who occupied the islands in the 9th century. Mr. Stocken's motion does not favour either option, with the official's report noting that any constitutional change would likely require a combination of petitions, referenda and legislation at Scotland's Holyrood and the national UK government at Westminster. The council leader told the BBC that Orkney is being failed dreadfully by governments in both Edinburgh and London, and he claimed funding per head is less than Shetland and the Western Isles receive. He said, "We were part of the Norse kingdom for much longer than we were part of the United Kingdom. On the street in Orkney, people come up and say to me, 'When are we going to pay back the dowry? When are we going back to Norway?' There is a huge affinity and a deep cultural relationship there. This is exactly the moment to explore what is possible." But the Scottish Lib Dem MSP for Orkney, Liam MacArthur, said he supported empowering island communities, but warned there are dangers in putting up barriers. He said there were similar proposals considered by OIC around the time of the last independence referendum, and I am keen to understand how these would differ. Locally, I think islanders will also want to be reassured that this exercise won't result in council resources being taken away from the day-to-day running of services at a time when these are under real pressure. However, Downing Street rejected any notion of secession. Prime Minister Rishi Sunak's official spokesperson said, "First and foremost, there is no mechanism for the conferral of Crown dependency or overseas territory status on any part of the UK, but fundamentally we are stronger as one United Kingdom. We have no plans to change that. We've got no plans to change the devolution settlement. We are supporting Orkney already with £50 million to grow the economic prosperity of the Scottish Islands through the Islands deal. But the government's position is that the UK is stronger united." So, what do you think? Should Orkney break away? Could it survive on its own? Should it rejoin Norway? Let me know in the comments below, and don't forget to like, share, and most importantly subscribe. And you can also support the channel on Subscribestar via the link in the description. Thanks for watching. Bye for now.